Welcome, everyone. To the Valor Financial Specialist weekly training. My name is not Phil Rush. It is Nathan Klug. My company is actually Blue Rocket Marketing. We have been partners with Phil for quite a long time, even when he was at AIG, when we owned our insurance agency. He was our RVP. And then when he went independent, we partnered up and we helped him with the marketing side. We're the ones that built his website. We're the ones that the CRM that he uses and the newsletters that come out. We're the ones that do a lot of those different aspects and help them out in a lot of those areas. So every once in a while, when Phil's traveling, sometimes he'll ask me to jump on and teach something a little bit different than just insurance products. So today we're going to be talking about some marketing aspects, and specifically, I'm going to do this in a little bit different style. We're not going to go through like a formal presentation and things like that. I want to make this interactive. So, Teresa, you're probably used to the my style and how I work a little bit. So you'd probably be able to chime in, be able to teach half the class that I might teach, but I won't ask you to. You can just listen in.
Thank you.
But what what we're gonna go through today, based on some of the things I was talking about with Phil, is first off how to create your ideal client profile. So we're going to talk about an AI platform. I'm going to everything that I do on here, I will share with you. I'm going to use Chat GPT. I'm going to walk you through some stuff. I'm going to give you the link to the GPT so that you can put it in your own Chat GPT and play around with it. But that's the first thing that we're going to start off with. Is we're going to start talking about how to create your ideal client profile, which is going to help with a lot of different aspects. And then we'll also talk about how you can do some searches to find your ideal client prospect and craft personalized and automated messages to that audience. Because quick raise of hands, I'm going to be a little interactive as well. So as a step back to, if you're in a place where you can share your screen, not share your screen, excuse me. You can turn your video on. I love being more interactive. If you're not in a place, totally understand. But I appreciate, let's see, hopefully I don't mess up names, but Raphael and Dina and Crescinda and Johan, I see you out sharing your screen. That I know sharing your video. That's awesome. I love to be interactive on that side. See, when I say something, if I say something weird and I see some weird faces, I know how to react to that. With that said, though, we're going to jump into this really quick. I'm going to use a couple people as examples as well. Like I said, this is going to be designed to be really a little bit more interactive and help you out on that side. How many of you have created I know I'm using a fancy terminology, but how many of you have actually created your ideal client profile? Like who you really want to work with, your dream clients, who's sat down and actually spent time building that out? I gotta raise a hand. I gotta nod. For everyone else that's not on video, if you guys want to throw it in the chat or just or raise your hand on the gesture bar, great. But it seems like for most people, they've kind of had thoughts about it, but they haven't actually spent time to build it out. So that's what we're going to do first. And the reason that's going to be super important is because, I mean, I'm sure everyone's heard this phrase, but if everyone is your client, then no one is your client. And if everyone's your client, it's really hard to make personalized messages to that marketplace if you don't know where they are, what their demographics are, what are their pain points, what's their psychography. I'm going to use some fancy terms so I can pretend like I know what I'm talking about in the marketing world. And so this is what we're going to go over, and I'm going to give you afterwards. I don't want everyone to get distracted right now. I will give you the exact Chat GPT. It's called a GPT, where you can actually put it into your account in Chat GPT and actually ask it questions and run it as many times as you want to. I will give you that right afterwards, but right now we'll stay focused. So I'll run it for now, and then I'm going to use a couple people as examples to walk through it. So with that said, who would like to be the example that by the end of what we're going to do real quick over the next probably 10 minutes, you'll have your ideal client profile. You'll know everything about them. Anyone want to raise their hand real quick? First person gets it. Oh, we got a bunch of shy people, huh? Oh, Dina, I can use you. I would love to use you. I heard, you're also the one that raised your hand. You said you kind of worked on that as well. So we'll see if this confirms a lot of the different aspects. I'm going to share my screen then, and then Dina, I'll ask some questions and I'll walk you through it. But really quick to take a step back again, who here has used Chat GPT or using it on a regular basis? Okay. All right, I'm seeing everyone raising their hands. Because if I need to take a step back and explain a couple things on Chat GPT, I absolutely can. But it looks like everyone's familiar with it. Perfect. Okay. Let's get into, and I'm going to share my screen. All right. And like I said, I'm going to share this with everyone. So the way this will work is we're going to start off with what's called the profile. So this is a GPT that I built. I can literally take this link, and what I'll do is I will share it with you. And what it'll do then is it's going to put this link, like I said, I won't do it now because I don't want to get everyone distracted. You'll take this link, all you do is you click on it, and then it's going to put the profile in this GPT section so that you can click it and you can do everything that we're going to walk through right here. So I will give that to everyone afterwards. And also this is being recorded, so the recording will be there as well. I know Phil posts those recordings also. So Dina, you're going to be the example. Thank you for unmuting yourself. What we're going to do is we're just going to click let's start, and then it's going to ask some questions. So do you have a website right now, Dina?
Embarrassed by it, but it's there. It's Truth Financial Solutions.
.com.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right, so we're going to take this, we're going to see what it brings in first. And sometimes it does a good job with tracking websites, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, then it's just going to switch over to asking questions. And of course, there's always a danger in doing live demos because something is ultimately going to break at one point. Oh yeah, for whatever reason, wasn't able to access. There's some things that I can troubleshoot on the back end, but we'll just ask the questions because these are the same things for everyone that's watching this. These are the questions that you're going to want to answer for yourself to help create that ideal client profile. So first off, describe your product or service. I know it's insurance, but like what insurance do you specifically focus on?
Solutions using insurance products.
And I'm sorry, what was the first part?
Financial solutions using insurance products.
Perfect. Insurance products. All right, and then we're going to go to number 2. Who do you help? Just, and you can use a relatively broad audience, but what's the kind of a little bit of the target audience?
People who are, do you want me to put ages? Or do you just
No, yeah, who do you, so with financial solutions using insurance products, who is it that you help with that?
What I'm most interested in is helping people who are preparing for retirement or who are in retirement.
Perfect. All right, what would you say your key benefits or the outcomes your clients get?
Peace of mind. Feel more prepared. Yeah, financial security. I would say probably more peace of mind, yeah.
Perfect. Now, pricing range doesn't apply to us. This is a GPT that's made more for, because you don't control pricing. And then any quick testimonies or case studies or anything like that that you want to put in here?
Yes, I have been told, and I need to have this person write a testimony for me, that I am very thorough and take time to listen. They felt listened to. And that they knew that I was looking at all the different options for them, not just trying to pigeonhole them in one place. One spot.
Oh my gosh, I can spell that. We'll use that for now. And now we're doing this pretty basically. We're not going to get into this tons, but when you're doing this yourself, the more detail you can give AI, the more context you give AI, the better your output's going to be. So let's start with that. And then it's going to ask a couple more questions afterwards. All right. Now we answer these questions individually. What specific outcome are your customers hoping to achieve when they work with you? So when they sit down with you, what are they trying to accomplish?
Lifetime income, protect their hard-earned money from any market losses. And also, they're very concerned about when the time comes that they're going to need some care when they're older. So long-term care is a concern of theirs.
And just so you know, too, if you haven't used it, there is a little dictate button. If you start and you start talking to it, that helps tremendously. Just so everyone knows, I'm a relatively fast typer, so I get through it quite a bit. But if it's easier, you can use the dictate button. All right, so we got that next question. I can't remember what I built out, but let's see where it's going to go next. And all of these things that you're seeing, like I said, this is the basis of creating the ideal client profile, of answering these. So what alternatives do your customers usually consider before choosing you? So like maybe working with a financial advisor.
With a financial advisor, leaving their money in their managed market account that they already have. Maybe putting money in a CD in a bank. And I would say they probably avoid talking about long-term care because it's very overwhelming to think of, and they've got well, it's not a misconception, but they think all that's available is they use it or lose it, and it's extremely expensive type of solution.
Perfect. All right, question number 3. You can do it, AI. Come on, Chatty. All right. What's unique or better about your offer compared to those alternatives?
Let's say safer returns, guaranteed income. I like that. Definitely an education focused approach with things. Personal, a lot of it that it says up there, I would agree with.
Perfect. Yeah, give some suggestions, so that works out nicely. More personalized. So we'll just use everything that it says.
Yep, sounds good to me.
All right, and then question number 4, and then what it's going to do is it's going to create. It's going to ask one or two more questions about how we want to create it. But what do your best clients have in common? So usually age bracket, they're probably between what, like 50 and 70?
50 and 70s, yeah, between 50 and 70. There would be more conservative investors. They'd be kind of the type of people that probably, the faith-driven, definitely faith-driven, family orientated, and probably don't pay a whole lot of attention. They're not really financially savvy. I mean, they're not dumb, but they're just busy with their life and they haven't really stopped to pay attention to what this all entails. So I can say this from personal experience.
Yep. Anything else, or is that good?
I think that looks good.
All right. All right, so this is now going to tell you, now taking all that information, it's going to do its own research as well. Here's what that's going to include: who they are, where to find them, how to approach them, their key job titles and company types and things like that, so that you can then search them on Google and LinkedIn and Facebook and things of that nature. And talk about people, influencers, and partnerships that you can have that deal with that type of marketplace. It's going to give you suggested social media copy, and it's also going to give you a score basically as well. So yes, I want the report. Should have had actually working on the report while I was talking about it. So here we go. This is the basic stuff. So the demographic: age 50 to 70, stage, period of time, recent retired, location, US based, suburban rural areas, income range, assets, marital status, occupation. Then we get, so that's basic stuff. We all know those things. Yeah, we can identify that pretty easily. Now we get into the psychographics though. So goals: lifetime income, financial stability; fears, market downturns, running out of money; values, faith, family, trust, long-term relationships. I won't go through each one of these, but like I said, I'm going to briefly go through it so you get the idea of what it's finding. And like I said, all this stuff is the basic aspects, but then where to find them. So Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, community groups, suggestions, events, and associations. And now we're talking about how to approach them. So pain points, motivation and goals, top objections, preferred content types. So, this is actually pretty good. Simple content, preferred content types. So simple explainer videos, education seminars, faith-based financial education newsletters, case studies or client stories. Those are all things that are super important to them and how they want to communicate. Language and tone. So like I said, so for those that are looking at this and you're not these things, you're definitely going to want to be these things for this specific marketplace: calm, reassuring, educational. um People, ideal prospect job titles. Now this is what helps you get into the keywords. So when you're searching for these type of people, these might be some keywords and job titles that these people might have. Now we can ask it to expand on it. Right now it's doing a relatively basic one on this side, but industry types, LinkedIn. So if you're ever struggling and you're like, wow, where do I find these people? What should I do next? This is giving you some ideas to be able to do that. So I'm going to pause just for a second before we go to the rest of it. Is some of that information, like I said, you don't have to do that research. Is this helpful? Raise of hands real quick of just understanding a little bit about this. I know sometimes it feels like you're taking a step back to understand this information um, before taking a few steps forward. But without this, our marketing is usually scattered, and then we're trying to do too many things that don't actually hit with that marketplace. So companies, so B2B connections and opportunities. So these are different people that you can start connecting with that work with this type of marketplace: estate planning attorneys, CPAs, elder care, mortgage protection, reverse mortgage advisors, real estate professionals. There's other insurance brokers as well that may not do exactly what you're doing. Local credit unions, advanced, so church groups, elder care agencies, influencers. Even though I know we're not always big fans, does Dave Ramsey have a huge following? So if you know Dave Ramsey stuff, you can probably find where those type of people are. Tom Hegna and Slots. These are all people that do workshops. They teach on this kind of aspect, but these are the type of people, if they're looking for that, this is the type of people that they're looking for. Search strategies, some keywords, then market complexity scores, and then social media copy examples. So this is an example of a Facebook post and things like that that you could do that might get them to be like, oh yeah, I might be interested in that. So this gives you a little bit of direction. And like I said, this is giving you the basics, because once you have the basics, then you can start asking questions to Chatty, is what I call the AI, and go back and forth and dig in deeper for those concepts. So now I'm going to create a PDF version. And we're going to use it. There's one other thing that we're going to use next then, which is what I call the strategist. But let's pause again. Any questions about that piece on creating the ideal client profile? Like I said, literally did that in about what we did in about 10 minutes, and that's with me talking about things as well. So if you want to make it nice, you can add brand colors and logo files. I'm going to tell them not to worry about that. Any questions though about that piece, about thinking about and creating the ideal client profile? Like I said, we did that activity really quickly, but that's going to give you some insights on some direction. And if you answer those questions differently, of course, so maybe you're dealing with small businesses and that's your focus, or maybe you're dealing with a specific type of business, or you're doing like um, the lunch plans, or helping them reduce taxes first. There's lots of ways you can answer those questions. Um, and that's this GPT helps doing that relatively quickly, and you don't have to figure out the input to give it basically. Now we're going to take this someplace next, but that's the first stage. You cannot do the second stage of thinking about your strategic marketing plan and how you're going to talk to those people and what you're going to say to them unless you do that first piece. Um, oh, just build me the PDF already. Okay. Reason we want that PDF link is then we're going to go to the strategist next. And these are the two GPTs that I'm going to give everyone. Uh, oh, what is it? What I wasn't paying attention. Put all that content. Come on. Oh, okay. Sorry, some of the things changed. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to take this. I'll fix the GPT in afterwards for everyone. So there's some things that changed in the back end of ChatGPT that I did not fix, and that's why it's doing that. So I'm going to copy and paste this. We're going to use this in the strategist next. All right, so that's that piece. Now we're going to go to the strategist. Now we're going to take that information of our Dear Client Marketplace, and now we're going to create a go-to marketing strategy. And that's what we're doing here. All right. Like I said, any questions that anybody has so far about that piece? Like I said, helpful, that didn't take long. You can get that done relatively quickly. And like I said, I'm going to share it for everyone that was jumped on afterwards. I'm going to share that link so that you can use that. And like I said, I'll fix a couple things within it that I need to update. And then we're going to use the strategist real quick because then it's going to give us some strategy behind it. And like I said, this is always the risk of doing a live demo with things is, of course, something breaks. But let me finish this up and then I'll show you one last tool then, because now we figured out our ideal client profile. Now we're going to talk about some strategy, but then the last piece that I'll do is I'm going to talk about an actual tool that will identify that. So you have the website. It's not going to be able to find anything, but I'm assuming you want to get more qualified leads, right, Dina? All the info. Now, usually I would just put in the PDF, but for whatever, like I said, it was not allowing me to create the PDF, so I'm just going to copy and paste all the data. All right, so now it has all the data. Now it's going to create there's about 15 playbooks that it has on the back end of this, and now it's going to choose some of those playbooks to actually give you, hey, this is actually what you do next. So recommended playbooks, the authority asset giveaway. So this is an idea that then you can use for that ideal client marketplace. So give away a premium retirement peace of mind kit, which literally you can make things like this with ChatGPT very, very quickly that actually provide some real value. And you didn't have to create it all yourself. So create a simple branded PDF or mini course titled 5 Faith-Based Strategies for a Secure Retirement. Believe me when I say it does not have to be super professional. You can video it on your phone. You can do it really quickly. You can put together a couple videos. You can put together in a PDF, however it works. And then you can offer that to them. You can send an email with it. There's lots of different ways you can get that and send that over to them and say, hey, I'm giving this for free because what do you want? You want their contact information. So you're going to give them something free that's of value to them. And I apologize. Let me take a step back. Never use the word free. Use complimentary or exclusive bonus or things like that. Do not say free. It will cheapen what you're offering. So use the word, I'm giving this complimentary to anybody that fills out the form, because they're always looking for, they need a reason to give you their information. And if it's valuable enough to them and you describe what's in there, and like I said, there's a few different ideas you can do with that, then they'll give the information. So that's one idea, authority asset giveaway. Other one, expert event amplifier. So doing a workshop or education event. So has anybody done workshops or seminars or things like that before? Bobby, I see your hand raised. I see a few people. Rosendo, yep. Good to see you, by the way, Rosendo. Um, those are super value. You can do them online or you can do them in person, and you can do them for literally super cheap. Like we used to do workshops, and literally it would cost us anywhere between $200 to $300, and that was for food. We did them at restaurants a lot of times, and did them like a lunch thing or an evening thing, and we did like a group food thing, not like a 20, 30, 40, $50 a plate thing. You make one sale from that, you make all your money back, plus tons more. You make profit. So do that. You can partner with local places, so local churches, a CPA firm, an elder care firm. These are all different ideas. This is called the Agape sequence. So it's a 6-touch sequence where you're going on LinkedIn and you comment, you find people that are active on LinkedIn, you comment on their post, or in a group discussion, you send some information to them, you follow up in person, and then you send a video. And the way I would do that too, so here's a quick tip for LinkedIn. If you connect with someone on LinkedIn and you go on your phone to the app and then you go to the message, there's a button, there's a plus button on the phone that then says camera. Once you go to camera, then you can move it to video. And if you're going to send a video to someone on LinkedIn as a DM, do it that way, because LinkedIn, Facebook, all social media sites, whenever you share an external link, they like to limit that link because they want to keep people on their platform. So that tool for LinkedIn, when you do it on your phone, it actually will show the video right on that message. So you can usually have like a whiteboard up or things like that where you write their name on it, and that shows them that you spent the time to create that video for them. Of course, you can work on your script and things like that, but that video, if you do it through LinkedIn's platform, will get you tons more people. Instead of like every 1 out of 10 people maybe responding back to you, you'll get more around like 5 or 6 people responding back to you. So that's just a LinkedIn trick. I do a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. So AI personal leads magnet. So same thing, kind of similar to the first one a little bit, where you're giving something away, but think of some ideas. You can talk back and forth with ChatGPT of figuring out something that's really, really valuable that they can have that you can share with them. And then the last one that they put on here is strategic partner swap. So again, finding the right people that are in that. So estate planners, pastors, CPAs, and identifying 10 potential partners and propose co-branded events and things of that nature that you can do some free educational workshops. You're getting into the right marketplace, and that's super valuable to them, and you're sharing information. And if you share information like that, then they'll probably want to talk to you afterwards because they have questions. So that's another idea. Here's some other concepts and ideas that you can do, and then there's some next steps, and you can talk back and forth with it. But I'm going to stop there because I don't want to get too crazy in depth. But those are some of the ideas that it's sharing basically that you can implement. And like I said, all of these outside of the doing the workshop, if you do you don't do it online, they don't cost you anything to be able to do. So again, this is all recorded. I'm going to share both of these with you right now. Like I said, there'll be a couple things that I fix on the street. There's nothing that you have to worry about, but I'm going to put this in the chat. Uh, uh, I'm just reading the messages. Yeah, so Bobby, on the LinkedIn to be a good platform for B2B sales, 100%. It is a phenomenal platform for B2B sales. There's a I'll post a link in a second. I just did a video on how to generate leads on LinkedIn. So I teach a specific strategy on that side. I'll put it in the chat as well in a little bit. But here's the first one. And again, I'll give these to Phil so that he can share it as well. If you just click on that link, it's going to open up to Chat GPT, and it'll put the profile right here into your Chat GPT account. And then let me do the same thing. Oh, sorry, that's for the strategist actually. And then let me get the profiler. Okay. So you should have both of those. And yeah, Bobby, that's exactly the circle of influencers, circle of influence, CPAs, estate attorneys. I would determine like the 3 to 5 places that you're going to focus on, and that would be great places to. The simple strategy of it is what you do is um, it's harder to find if you're not using like LinkedIn Sales Navigator. But ideally, when you're doing your searches, you're going to look through and find the people that have posted in the past 30, 60, 90 days, basically. And the reason you want those people is because then you can go to their last post, like their post, make a real comment, not some flimsy bull crap that doesn't mean anything to them. Make a real comment, and then you go to their page and then you hit the connect button. And then the connect button, you then tell them, hey, Bobby, I just commented on your post about your dog a couple month ago. I liked and commented on the post. Hope you don't mind. Would love to connect. Your conversion ratio of the people that will accept that connection will go from about every 8 to 9 people out of 10 will then connect with you with a message like that. Then once you're done with that and they accept the connection request, you go to them and then you endorse their top 3 skills. And the reason you're doing all that is because every time you do these things, it's sending them a notification on LinkedIn. So you're getting to your 7th to 10th touches as quickly as possible, which is where about all 70 to 80% of all sales are made. And then after you've endorsed them, that's when you'll send the video message. Don't just send a generic DM, send a video message using your phone. Get a piece of paper or whiteboard that has their name on it, individualize it, and you're saying something like, hey, Bobby, just wanted to say hi. Thank you so much for the connection on LinkedIn. I'm making this video because first off, I want to make sure that you know that I'm not AI or a robot, even though that's probably what a AI would say at this point. And just wanted to say thank you for the connection. I see that you've been, and then comment about something about their experience or their past on LinkedIn, how long they've been at their last job for, how long they've been in that industry for, something that's personalized to them. So you have to actually look at their profile. Then after that, you're saying, hey, I work with people just like yourself, and I solve ABC problems for them. I don't know if you have any questions about retirement planning or financial solutions or insurance or anything like that. But if you do, would love to connect for about 15 minutes just to see if there's anything that I can help you with. And that's the gist of the message. And if you do those, if you do about 5 to 10 of those a day, like don't get crazy with it. I usually tell people do about if you spend about an hour a day on that, you will start generating more conversations on a regular basis very quickly because no one is doing that on LinkedIn. No one is personalizing those messages. Everyone wants to automate crap. And those automations and those things that you're doing on that side, they're not really connecting with people, and people crave that level of connection now, especially with everything that's happening with AI.
Are you seeing that that strategy works better or worse if you're creating content for LinkedIn at the same time?
Doesn't really matter, to be honest. So even if you're not doing any content creation, content creation, I will always say will always help you, because if they go to your profile and they do catch something that's on there and see that you have been posting, that's great. But neither has it seen if for people that aren't posting that it kills the deal or anything like that because you send them a DM and you don't see a post.
LinkedIn doesn't punish you if you're not posting and stuff like Facebook does.
Yes, that is correct. And yeah, and the DM strategy and posting is completely different than it's two separate things basically. So there's people that I know that are just DMing people and using that strategy and it works great for them. And then there's other people that are doing both, and there's other people that are just trying to they create posts and things like that. But
Anyone been doing
that's
that
how
on
that
Face? I'm sorry, do you know, has anyone been doing that on Facebook too?
Facebook is weird from that side because a if you're not connected with that person already, it's hard. Sometimes it's depending on their privacy settings, it's really hard to be able to find their last post and comment it and build that level of trust at the beginning, because you almost have to send them an add friend request so that their profile even opens up. So that's why, like, if you're gonna really run the strategy, I highly recommend doing it on LinkedIn more, because on Facebook, like I said, there's a lot of encryption stuff and security things and privacy settings that LinkedIn does not have the same aspect. But there's one other thing that I'll go through, but like, so these are all good questions. If you have questions, run through it, let me know. But that kind of concludes the Chat GPT side, is then using the profiler and the strategist, being able to create some ideas. Now, I just walked through it as I built it. It's very simple. The next stage of really getting down to helping out and figuring out what to do next is then just talking back and forth with it. After you've created those two things, then you're asking the questions that you want to know about and say, hey, let's dive deeper into that strategy. What's the messaging that you think we would use and things like that. So, but that at least gives you some foundation where you don't have to build that yourself and to figure it out. So next, what I'm going to, before I do this, I'm going to show you something, but I'm also going to ask permission from everyone as well. So because this next portion is it's a paid product. So is it okay if I showed you something that if you do want it to make your job easier, that you can actually pay for it if you want to? There's no requirement at all, but I always like to ask for permission before I give any type of pitch or anything like that. Is that okay that I show you something that we've built on that side?
Proceed.
All right, permission denied. Bobby, all right, I'm gonna kick you off the chat right now.
That's fair.
So as a side note, that is something that I've learned from coaches many times, is as soon as you're going to go into your pitch and you're going to actually ask for something, ask for permission. Because when you ask for permission, as soon as you do that and they do say yes, that means that they are ready for that level of relationship, that ready for actually doing business, and it changes the nature of what you're going into. So I always, whenever I go into any type of pitch, I do my education piece and I talk about it afterwards. I'll ask that, something like that, basically. All right. So what I'm going to show you then is this is an AI tool that we have, and we do, of course, just so everyone knows, there's a few of people that use the system that are on here. We built something called the Lift Marketing System. that uses Go High Level, custom-made Go High Level account. It gives you a website and things like that that you can send out messages, collect all your data, blah, 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 all that good stuff. I'm not going to talk about that piece because even if you don't use, High Level or a CRM or anything like that, this you can use as a standalone to find the right people that you're looking for. And this is something that for me, I absolutely love this tool. We use it all the time to find our ideal clients and how we're talking to them. So I'm going to do a very simple one. I'm not going to go through a long explanation. I'm only going to do one type of search on here. But the first thing that you do is before you even use it, you're going to set up your business profile. And you're going to answer some basic questions about your business name, your website, what do you sell, who does it help, what does it do for them, the personality that you kind of want to do, because this is the foundation that the AI is using then to create personalized and automated messages to your marketplace. But let's use an example. So, Dina, I'm going to continue down the path that we talked about of the type of people that you're looking for. And let's go back into some of the keywords that it used, because this is the keywords that we want to then put into the system to find the right people. So let's see. We were looking for, let's do something easy for right now. So we're going to look for these people, estate planning attorneys. So we can talk about building connections and the CPA firm. So let's start with estate planning. We're going to do a new search and we're going to do a local search. And we want to find estate planners. What city are you in, Dina?
Minnesota,
I'm sorry, the first part, what'd you say?
Worthington.
Worthington.
Yeah, WOR. There you go.
Perfect. And we're just going to throw this on our demo list right now. And they're technically lawyers. All right. And then we're just going to hit continue. So what this is going to do is this is just telling me a little bit, hey, I found some people. These are all the firms around here. If I want, I can load more. But now what I want to do is I want to go to the list. And what it's doing is it's pulling that information in real time. It's going to Google Maps. It's going to their website and grabbing those people. And so let's see, I'm going to go to email found. And let's look at this. So Southern Minnesota Regional Legal. So the first thing that I see on this, now it's blurring out because I'm on Zoom. Technically, I'm not allowed to share information like that. So, but it's pulling in the HR director, the director of litigation, the finance director, an attorney, their names and their emails. And it's also pulling in their Facebook, their YouTube, their Twitter, their LinkedIn. So I can go straight to it. So if I want to send them DMs, I can do that as well. So I have all that information right here. Now, here's where the crazy parts get. This AI assistant, now what I can do is I want to create a summary of their company so that I can understand a little bit about them. Because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that summary and the AI is going to use that to create context then for the messaging that we're going to create next. Because that's the biggest thing when you're using AI. The biggest problem with AI is that it's pulling in a bunch of generic content. The more context you can give it, the better messaging it's going to give. So this is the result. It's telling me it's a nonprofit law firm that provides free, high quality legal services. It's Minnesota's oldest legal aid program, founded in 1909. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that it pulled out. We won't go through it. And then it's giving now, this is set up for me. So now it's giving me a reason about what I can do with them and how I can work with them. But what we're going to do next is now we have that summary. Now I want to create a direct message. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a direct message. You can create prompts in prompts, basically. I'm going to create a direct message that has to do with the summary that we just built. So it's using the summary that it just created as a way of creating the message. And so here's a direct message Now this is going to be for me. But I noticed, and like I said, this doesn't play because I told the prompt something specific, but this is really what I'm looking for is kind of this. I noticed specialize in helping Minnesotans protect their family, property, and legacy through estate planning. So it's giving something specific about what they're doing. And these are the type of messages then you'd craft it to kind of what you're looking for. And you can take this and copy and paste this, go over to their Facebook, and then start sending DMs to them on a regular basis. If you do have a CRM, you can take this information as well and grab this, send it to, either export to CSV or send it to your CRM. And then you could be also crafting emails and text messages and things like that. And copy and pasting that information to them so that now you have, and you're not going to get crazy with it. You're not sending thousands and thousands of messages. You're finding really 10 good places, probably a week, that you want to talk to. You're crafting the direct message, their summaries, the subject lines, and email and things like that. And then you're sending those, and you're sending a DM in probably Facebook and LinkedIn if you can, and an email. And then after that happens, then you call them. And now what you can do is you've turned that cold contact into a warm contact because you can refer back to say, hey, I'm the guy that sent you the DM and the email and things like that. So that's kind of how the tool works. It's a basic understanding of where it goes. But if you're looking to get more business and personalize, use AI to personalize those messaging that you're going out to, this is the tool that we always recommend. Because we're not big into lead generation, like lead generation firms are a dime a dozen. This is more you're generating conversations because of things that you're sending to them. And that's the difference that this makes. So, all right, my last part of that is that's kind of how the tool works. If anybody wants it, it's $50 a month and you get 50 credits per month. And that email that I just did, so that found 10 emails, this counted as 1 credit. So even though it found 10 emails, it only cost me 1 credit. So if anybody wants to know more information about it, I'll throw something in the chat. If they want to test it out, I can do one-on-ones with people as well. But that's my that was my pitch. I'm going to stop now. And then if anybody has any questions about anything that went over about how to create your ideal client profile, how the chat GPT works, any other questions about marketing? Like, Bobby, that was a great question. Rosendo like, I did not pay Rosendo for that. Just give me your money. This tool. So for those that do use our Lift marketing system, this can directly attach and you can push that information into the CRM and we'll work on getting all that set up. But if you're looking for new business, this is a great way to be able to do that. It's $50 a month and it gets you 50 credits. And then if you want to buy more credits, it costs 20 cents per credit to be able to do, or you just wait till next month. If you don't use the 50 credits, it will roll over. So if the next month you have 2 months where you didn't use them, you'll have 100 credits to use. And like I said, it's a low cost tool that gets you into that ideal client profile and allows you to use AI to be able to do that. And just to the last piece, so you know, I don't want to get too crazy with it, but you can do a workflow where it will automatically go find those people and do those AI searches and automatically push it to a CRM or create a CSV file and stuff like that as well. So if you do want to if you do want to jump on board, I put the link in. That's the end of my pitch, though. I'm going to stop, though. Any questions that anybody has about anything marketing related at all? Like I said, usually you get Phil. So today you get me. We get to talk about actual fun stuff. Yes, Tina.
Lyft, is that mainly just for businesses or can you also find like people?
You can find people. The problem with finding people is because those are much more protected. So the way that you do it is so let me go into the searches. There's 5 different types of searches. it's still using the main tools that it's using to do is things like the people search uses LinkedIn. The local search is going to Google Maps and websites. Company search is taking the URL. Domain search, um, company searches, excuse me, are for people that don't really have like Google business profiles and things like that, but you might have their business URL and you put it in there, and then it's going to scrape as much data as it can from what it can find that is out in public. So that's really why for finding clients, it's a little bit harder. You have to find the people in the companies to do it, because as soon as you're an individual consumer, you have a bunch of protections that data is not easily to get, basically. So that's why this tool keeps you compliant with all that. It's not going to get you into trouble with stuff. Um, and yeah, we can, anybody that does jump on, the first thing that I'll do is I'll set up a one-on-one meeting where I make sure that, you know, either myself or my team will make sure that we set it up for you, and we build out all the AI stuff and we answer all the questions, and then we'll help you do a few searches. And then there's a YouTube, there's a support button on here as well to answer questions, and there's a whole bunch of different courses and things like that that are built in, and onboarding and how to use the GPTs and things like that. You're welcome. Any other questions anybody has on anything else, anything marketing related?
What's your favorite platform to drive B2B stuff right now?
My favorite, when you say platform to drive B2B stuff, you mean as in find and then connect with them, or
Yeah,
um,
so kind of open-ended question, but like something, a tool we haven't really played with very much. Like I've been looking at Zoom Info and a whole bunch of scraping with Claude and with ChatGPT and try to start that dialogue. Also utilizing a couple sales strategies, like you talked about the Agogi touch points and everything else. And I lean into like the ultimate sales machine, but it starts with data, right? And so whether you're using scraping to get the data and then leveraging it, or you're using a platform, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, going live and filling your calendar that way, like what's something that's working right now that you've seen with your clients and maybe we just haven't talked about enough?
yeah, I mean, I kind of went over the little bit of strategy, and actually, let me. I'm going to share the YouTube that I did on the LinkedIn strategy. That's the one that when people ask that questions, I'm talking about the most, because um, from a scraping standpoint, I'm definitely recommending the lead lift tool, because of course that's mine, and it does a lot of the things that Apollo and things like that are doing. The only thing that Apollo and a lot of those other scraping tools don't do is then crafting that message and personalizing that information. And that's really where the system for lead lift, that's where I'm recommending people if they want to try and find data, because it does the same thing that a lot of other tools do. It just adds that AI component on top of it. But from a then finding information, especially on the B2B side, I'm really big into LinkedIn and doing those personalized touches. And like I said, I'll grab the video real quick, so that everyone can actually walk through the specific strategy. Um, but this will go through it step by step of the script, how the tools that you use. I can even give people, if you want to start using Sales Navigator, I can give you 2 free months of Sales Navigator. Usually, if you go to Sales Navigator, it'll give you 1 month. There's nothing
Mhm.
that I earn from that, just because I referred over, they'll give you an extra month for free, basically. But those
Nice.
would be the two things that I would highly recommend.
Okay. What about anything with Judy Diamond or Arissa, the things that focus on AUM building and 401ks, things like that?
Yeah, you know what? I don't have them off the top of my head. That's something Phil has a couple tools on that side that actually I know of. Like American National has something that like a full database that you can log into and grab that type of information. Um, Let me make a note and ask Phil that, because he has like 2 or 3 resources. I just don't remember what they off top of my head of the exact links.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just starting to play around in that space and getting into cash balance and defined benefit plans. And so with that market, it's opened up a lot of business to business discussions that are great. I just kind of looking for other tools at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, I'll make a note of that, and I'll have Phil share that piece. And then that YouTube video that I just shared, that's me walking through the LinkedIn strategy basically from start to finish.
Awesome. I got it pulled up right now.
Cool. Any other questions? Like I said, we only have 2 minutes left. I like to make sure that we stay on time so that I know everyone's got busy schedules and things like that. I suppose to also last thing I'll do too is if anybody wants to set up just a conversation, I'm going to share my appointment link as well. And like I said, this is just a one-on-one marketing consultation. There's nothing I'm selling. There's nothing that's in this piece. Is this if you want to sit down and talk? I'm really involved in helping insurance agents grow, and specifically any agents, of course, that are working with Phil. I give some special treatment too. So if you want to sit down and chat for a little bit, that's my link. Let's talk about some marketing stuff and different ideas that you have, and anything that I can do to help give direction and help out. Would love to be able to do. Cool. You're very welcome, Dina. It was a pleasure to meet you. Actually, nice to meet. I see a lot of. I haven't been on a training for quite a while, actually. So nice to see a lot of your new faces and people, and a lot of old faces as well. So if anybody has any questions, yeah, though you have my links, schedule time. Let's chat. I'll make sure that Phil definitely. This is recorded, so I'll make sure that he posts the recording as well, and then we'll rock and roll from there. But in the meantime, everyone have a great rest of your evening and a great weekend, and happy Halloween to everyone as well. Talk to you later.